Ilya Mikheyev?
We'll know more tomorrow morning. I don't think it's anything long term. Whether he's ready for Tuesday or not, I'll have more knowledge on that tomorrow. But as we sit here today, I don't think it's anything long term. Obviously, couldn't finish the game, so that puts him, I guess, day to day.
With the game, looked like you guys got the start you wanted, and then the second, they get a lead, and they're tough to deal with once they get a lead.
Well, 100%. I thought we played really good in the first. Probably could have been up by 2. Not that we had crazy much chance, but I thought we played good. That's the way we want to play. I thought we kind of self-inflicted a little bit in the second in terms of puck management, a couple decisions, and we kind of made the game less direct, less predictable to ourselves, and as a result, we didn't really create much at all. And probably on top of that, stopped shooting when we did have chances to shoot. And so, they get the 2-1 lead, and they're a really hard team with the lead. And so in the third, we just had a real hard time generating stuff because they're good at kind of sitting back and making you force it in, and they broke the puck out better than us, and we didn't quite have the jump on the forecheck that we need to have when you're in those spots. That's disappointing for sure, because I thought we could have kind of carried forward from the first on, but there's a learning thing in this. I think they've got a lot of good pros in their team that have kind of been through hard hockey, and we got to still continue to kind of make strides when the game's hard like that, not when it's open and fast, when it's hard.
You talked about
power play.
I want to look at it more without commenting a whole bunch. We struggle to win faceoffs still. That's an issue, because then you got to get in. We made a couple tweaks on our breakout that didn't pay off the way that we were hoping to. Probably didn't result in what we were hoping to. You get a little bit of looks, but not much. So we got to at the very least, as I said to him, we got to generate momentum. And didn't feel like we generated momentum on it today. So that's just something we're gonna have to. It's a process, and we're gonna have to go back to not back to the drawing board. Just stay with it and find a way to get better at it.
You talked about giving up odd man rushes in Tampa, not getting burned there.
Mm-hmm.
Really, it was just in the first 5 minutes of the second period that it happened tonight. There was 1 penalty and 2 goals.
Mm-hmm.
What did you see any commentary from Thursday to now with that?
Not necessarily. I think for sure. Some of it was you got to take what's given, and you can't try to make something out of nothing. And in terms of your puck management, and I think we stopped taking what's given. I say it all the time: make a player live another day. And I just think there was times where we could have either lived another day. Now the one's unfortunate. Dickinson shoots the puck from the point, they front it and go the other way. Fiala's good at that stuff. He's good at taking off. I think Dickie would have liked to get more on it. So it's not necessarily a system thing, it's just the way it happened. But obviously on the other goal, the turnover is you can't have highest turnovers. You just can't. So Rin's a really good player. He makes lots of really good plays, and he's just got to learn how to manage it. And just like the rest of us, it's a learning process.
Vancouver also came in off of back-to-back and had that surge of energy in the second period, just like the Kings did today. Where do you think that kind of comes from those opposing teams?
Disappointing for sure. Vans for sure, because that was from Dallas. It's a really hard trip. Not that Nashville, coming from Nashville, isn't, but Dallas, that's a hard trip. We're gonna have to remember these when we're on the back half of them. That we can't use it as an excuse. I thought they're 2 different games, a little bit, I guess. Different in a sense of why it happened, but like both probably cases, we came out in good first periods and kind of, I don't want to say, we just. For differing reasons, I thought took our foot off the gas. Against Van, I just thought we got passive. Against LA tonight, I thought we got our puck management was poor, and we fed their rush game.
Is part of that just the Kings personnel and what they're able to do with who they have also?
Yeah, I mean they got a lot of really good. As I said earlier, like the game's going to be hard. What I mean by that is it's going to be tight checking. They're not going to give you much. Sometimes those games are hard for. young talented players because you want to make something happen every shift, when sometimes you just got to let it be okay with nothing happening on a shift, and then just kind of change, and the next group goes out there and not, and being content with the 1-0 lead, and at some point trying to build it to 2-0 and then build it 3 without giving up any. We specifically talked about not feeding the rush game because that's where they do create their offense. So they're a team that's built well in a defensive sense, and I thought there's probably some maturity that we need to still continue to grow in those moments.
Not knowing what's going to happen on the face-off, does that prevent you going from the 6-on-4 right at the beginning of the power?
Yeah, I mean, that's a decision. We talked about it after. I've gone back and forth on that. I mean, what we were hoping for was some zone time, give your PK, your power play a chance to score. You're hoping to get a whistle, call timeout, and then you pull the goalie. The downside of pulling him is, it's one clear away from the game being over. So you're showing a little faith in your power play. Part of it's not winning face-offs. So that's something we're going to kind of just deep dive as a staff and say, okay, we get in that situation again, which way do we want to handle that? I'd rather be probably. I thought we were, I was conservative tonight. I'd rather not be conservative in those moments. So probably next time we'll put it on their shoulders to, if they don't win it, they better get control of it.
What did you see from Marvin Soderblom tonight?
Good, solid game again. I've said this a lot. We've had good goaltending every night, and good, solid game again. He got beat on the 2-on-1. He got beat on a little bit of a wrap off of a rush chance. So I thought he made good saves. And he plays big. He plays simple. He doesn't overmove. He doesn't create any chaos for our team. So I thought he played a real good, solid game.